Farm4Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit Podcast.
This better be good.
It's the first day, like literally the first day of 2024.
Hungover.
You're about to get that way. We, of course, recorded this a little bit ahead of it, but have we ever had music on a profit show? We did. We've done this.
Oh, we used to.
We did it one more time. One time before this. So we've got a request. We did a show in July. It was motivational clips that I stole from TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And people liked it. So what better time of year than New Year's resolution day to maybe throw some extra motivation in front of some of our fans?
Go to the gym, get a membership, make all of those New Year's requests come true.
So we're going to do that again. We're going to sit here and the boys are going to watch some clips that I saved from TikTok. You guys will be able to listen to them. And then we'll chat a little bit, maybe a little bit quicker show today. Just kind of pound right through this.
All right.
Yep. You guys ready?
I'm ready to be motivated.
All right. Let's start with our first one.
One day or day one.
It's time to get back to work.
Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about it.
It's on you. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab.
You got to go for it.
I will never quit.
I'm going to win.
Seize this very minute what you can do, or even dream you can do, and begin it.
Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits.
That's where winning is.
There are no traffic jams in the last mile of the race. It's just you and your shadow.
Say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
That's a good start.
Not over until I win. There's a lot of friends in that one. Gosh, that was Rock, Denzel Washington. Ooh, movie Rocky.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey was in that one. We had a lot of good stuff in there. And it is kind of interesting thinking about the mental toughness that it's going to take for people to have. This is pretty hard. Oof.
Headbang. Yeah.
That's how
Let's go.
That's how you kick the year off.
I like that because I always say people shouldn't piss me off because I don't lose. I will win. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next week.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm going to win, and you're not going to like it if you're against me. So you better be with me.
That's right. It's that self-belief. It is. And it takes a lot of that to get things kicked off. So if you're thinking about your New Year's resolutions, just remember that you are going to be your own worst enemy. Let's see if we can get
what would happen
this next one.
If for the next 365 days, you gave it your all? What if for the next 365 days, not 366, not 364, what if for the next 365 days, you didn't self-sabotage? Who would you be if for the next 365 days, you didn't quit? Who would you become? What type of person would be bred from that trial, that tribulation? I want to find out. And I think that you're doing a disservice to you, to your family, to your lineage, to your future generations, if you don't try to achieve your fullest potential. So strive for greatness, because on the other side of this pain, this bullshit, this trial, this struggle is greatness, and you can unlock it. But you got to put in the fucking hours. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And you got to put in the 365 motherfucking days.
So that might have been a little harsh, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It also sounds extremely stressful to be on that much, right? Like,
no days off. Who is that? Road plates?
yeah,
I don't know.
No days off. A lot of people say that, but like, yeah, that is the definition of no days off, being on. And so a lot of people might put that in like with like health, but like think of it in everything. You're 100%, 110% at everything you do. Podcasting, driving,
Full potential.
family, work. That's a lot.
Sounds exhausting.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But what would you be?
It's exhausting for 75 days, let alone 365.
Yeah,
Even
you're
if
just
you
soft.
Even if you do it flaccid.
Even if you do it flaccid.
It is, but there's a lot of good to that. And I do know that I am my biggest weakness.
We all are. We're
I
humans.
self-sabotage much more.
And you're one of the probably the biggest robots I know as far as
Biggest robots.
I mean, as far as like he is just like detail oriented. Like, nope, I am going to work from 8 to 10. I am going to do this. I'm going to do that. He's scheduled. I'm going to be on time.
No.
It's good for you to admit that.
It is.
It's easy to tell somebody to do all this
That's true. That'd be interesting. I think we can live it.
online.
This is going to be our best year yet.
That's
Our listeners
that's
might
for
as
sure.
well come along with us.
Yep.
If it's going to be our best year yet,
Don't be against it.
it might as well be their best
We
year
will
yet.
win.
But you're right. It takes a lot to be focused. So this isn't Warren Buffett himself, but this is a quote from one of his presentations coming up here on the next one.
What do I say on Suits? I don't want to know who wins. I want his daddy.
As you set your New Year's resolutions this year, I want you to remember my favorite Warren Buffett quote. Take the top 25 things you want to get done this year and write them all down. And then take number 5 through 25 on that list, and this year, avoid doing these at all costs. If you want to be exceptional this year, then you need to ruthlessly prioritize.
I like that one.
Yeah, you've heard that before.
I am a victim of trying to do everything at the same time. I like to have my hand in everything, and quite often it sets me back.
Ruthlessly prioritize.
And I'm not good at that either, because there are a lot of things that I want to do and I want to be a part of. And I'm also not one of those that likes to let people down. So once I get into something or I commit, I'm going to finish, even though it might not be the best use of my time right now.
Yep.
Self-sabotage.
I like to have multiple things going on, though. I like to have multiple conversations going on different platforms.
Focus.
One of the things that helps you prioritize is also finding out what makes you happy. And if 2024 is going to be your best year yet, we need to make sure that you do things that make you happy. Because it's really hard to have your best year yet and not enjoy what you have going on. So Mel Robbins has a way that we might be able to help knock that down, or at least uncover it a little bit better.
I just want to beat last year.
Just want to beat last year.
Yeah.
1 year better. All right, let's see what Mel has to say.
I believe that the reason why you want to be happier is because you miss being happier, and you can only miss things that you know. I'll give you a simple exercise that you can do that I did with one of our daughters. She dealt with the depression and the grief by drinking herself into the ground and had a complete breakdown. I said, okay, well, let's start here. First of all, I want you to have this breakthrough where you realize you do know what you need to do. So take out a piece of paper, and I want you to draw a line down the center. When was a time that you felt happier than you feel right now? Now, on the left-hand side of the paper, I want you to write down all the things that were happening in your life then. Like, what did your day-to-day life look like? So you start to write. I left the house at 7 a.m. I was at school all day with my friends. I went to lacrosse practice. I exercised every day. And I'm like, great, now write down what your life looks like now. I sleep till noon. I drink every day. I don't leave the house. I don't exercise. I'm like, compare and change accordingly. Your whole life is about those little things that you do every day. And if you're not happy, get out a piece of paper, draw a line down the center, and write down the things that you were doing when you were a happier or healthier person, and change accordingly.
I'm going to change to $7 corn. I was happy on the left side. Doggone it, I can't change that.
I think the biggest thing I take out of that is just writing the stuff down. Because if you don't write it down, you don't have anything to go back to and look at.
Yep. If you fail to plan.
Steve Harvey also had something to say about owning your own happiness also.
He's got a lot of good quotes. This guy.
He's done a lot of interviews, and I feel like the man remembers every interview and just takes a little piece from each one of them. But this was actually one of Steve's interviews himself, so there's going to be more coming from the guest perspective than from Steve's.
What can I do to be happy?
Number one, you have to own your own happiness. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff. It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff. The second thing that I think people need to do is challenge their own story, because people torment themselves about how they see their life. Challenge your own story. Change the way you talk to yourself about who you are and what happened to you and what you're going to do in your life. You wrote the script. Change the story. The third thing that I think is very important is to enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of us delay our happiness. When I get to this level, when I get my degree, when I get the kids, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole step, the whole process. Every day that you get up to strive for whatever it is you're after. You know, I'm a goal-oriented guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't celebrate when you get to the finish line. Celebrate all along the way. Celebrate all along the way.
Yeah, man.
I like
Speechless. Speechless there. Celebrate the journey. I mean, that's what we're on. We're on the journey, because what is the end goal of the podcast? We don't have one. It's just the journey is all we want.
We've done goal setting. Not a lot of it, but we've done some. And then you get to the goal and you kind of sit there and you go,
what's next?
What do I do next? It takes a lot of creativity to figure out what comes next, because you haven't been there. It's not something that you can strive to already have experienced, because you're just reliving the goal there.
I think the best out there, I read something somewhere, they asked a billionaire, they said, what was it like to make your first million? He says, pretty cool, but then I wondered, what's it like to make $1 billion? Well, what's it like to make 10 billion?
Yeah.
So I think you keep changing your goals, no
Well,
matter what.
Like he said, change the way you talk to yourself. Change the way that you think about the way you are, what happened to you, and what you're going to do. You're the one that's writing the script. So if you don't like the story, change it.
I changed my signature once, and then the bank calmed down on me and said, hey, this ain't the same guy. I said, well, I want to look cooler. I want this
changed.
signature.
I am not.
They actually watched that?
Oh, yeah.
They did. And I said, no, I signed this. This is me. I'm just changing the way I'm doing it. I want it to be better.
The journey. This next one's about the surfer mentality. And I tell you what, if there's any group of people that enjoy the journey, it's got to be surfers.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I hope our listeners enjoy as much as I did. I think I've listened to it probably 40 or 50 times.
Oh.
If you want to be happier, you need to use something that I call the surfer's mentality. See, because there's something a surfer understands better about life than most other people. See, a surfer wants to get up on the wave, but they don't make the mistake of believing that once they're up, that they're going to stay there forever. When they get up there, they enjoy it and they ride it as far as they can, but at every moment, they realize that that wave is going to crash and that they're going to fall. And maybe another wave is going to crash on top of them, but they don't let that get them down, because a surfer understands that there's always more waves coming, and that is the experience of surfing. Trying to get up on the wave, waiting to get up on the next wave, getting ready and being prepared for the waves that crash over you. And if you can enjoy the entire experience of being alive, the moments that are challenging as much as the highs, and understand that they are two parts of the same experience, then, my friend, you will have won the game.
That is the ebbs and flows of farming.
Mm-hmm. I mean, life in general. That made me think of, everything that everyone sees your success. They don't see all the hard work, the hours and days and the setbacks, swimming out to catch the wave, and the work in the gym, all that kind of stuff. But they just see you on the wave, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because you think about those that are great athletes, and I'd put surfers into that category. You're right, you don't see the hours in the gym. You don't see the sprints, the hill climbs, the injury, the number of days that you woke up sore. But it's all part of the journey. Just like the clip before this, enjoy the journey, enjoy every step. Surfers enjoy the experience of surfing. You can enjoy the entire experience of being alive, even the moments that are challenging you, as much as the highs. And I'm a pretty reserved person. I don't get super low. I've gotten low, but I don't get super low and I don't get super high. Even though this is going to be our best year yet on the podcast, I don't jump on the table. I've been told that we can.
I've seen you dance. You don't
jump
get
on
that
this
low.
table. I don't get that. It's fair. I don't get that low. See, I told you. I don't get that low.
Uh-huh.
But I just back to the whole point of this show, right? We're setting goals. We're thinking about 2024. The surfer, when they get up there, they enjoy it and they ride it as far as they can.
Then they wait for the next wave.
Yeah, because they know at any moment the wave could stop.
Mm-hmm.
And they also know that it could be the last wave of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that I think we can get better at is riding our wave hard. Go after it.
Not flaccid.
This next one, just in case that took everybody down a little bit too low, this next one's a little bit more of a fun one. I had to make fun of
oh, man, the description is...
the Minnesota State Fair.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so we're talking about happiness and what it takes to get happy. Here is Minnesota State Fair.
What makes you happy? What brings you joy? Sex.
Hookers and blow. Hookers and blow.
Can you?
You didn't expect that, did you?
Can you describe to the audience what was the age demographic?
That was a 79, 81-year-old woman
eating a snow cone with
curly, short, silver hair,
oversized shirt, and shorty.
So did she say
what makes
that?
you happy? What brings you joy? Sex.
Did you see that little that pause she had before she gave that answer? Did she give that answer because she believes that, or did she give that answer because she knows she was going to make those other people happy?
I don't know.
She's got dentures for sure.
Not during sex.
Based on the picture where you paused
Pops
it.
that
Your
out.
pause game was about crazy here.
I mean, we have beeped out a couple of words in this show already. We've got a couple more coming, but no pun intended there. We do. We really want you as a listener to enjoy the year, whether it's with us on our journey or you're going to make a journey of your own. And maybe some of you are battling back from something, but there's motivation in everything. Whatever happened in 23 is in 23, and you can either use it as motivation and fuel, or you can use it as something to build off of, whatever it is. But here's a perspective of going into 24.
And that hurt, you know? And I think that flipped this switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you, watch this.
Anybody think come to mind when you hear that clip?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My world.
My world. Your world.
In my world, I have a friend who's a world champion auctioneer. And before he goes on stage, you ever heard WTF, right?
Yeah.
He says WTS. I'm like, what is WTS? He says, watch this shit. Goes on stage and says, I'm going to perform like no other time you've ever seen me perform. WTS, watch this shit.
I would say that is probably most of my motivation is just to tell people to fuck you and why I do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is that wrong? Does it matter? Is there a right place to get motivation from?
That's what I dig it. That's what motivates me. It might be something else for someone else. Use it works, right?
I even love when Kobe Bryant said the same thing. Yep. He got to the gym and like Ron Artest or somebody was there and was already getting shots up, and someone actually got to the gym before Kobe, and that was it. If you thought you wanted to get someplace and do something better than him, he was going to embarrass you.
Yep.
On the court, just to show you that even though you think you're working harder,
yep,
than the best,
yep,
you're going to say something else. Yeah, where motivation comes from, it depends. Does it?
If it's road rage, you probably don't need the motivation from the other people to go faster. You might get another ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that.
I think a lot of my motivation is going to come from those who have no faith, little faith,
mm-hmm.
and we're going to blaze our own trail. Should be a really exciting year, and again, that's why we appreciate the feedback that we get, and hopefully our listeners are liking this show.
Mm-hmm.
You guys enjoying it so far?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit here as we get into this next one, we just witnessed what you can do to turn your hurt into motivation. But now we have to realize if we're going to hit these goals, you have to sometimes do things that you don't want to do.
Always.
Maybe it's all the time. You think it is always?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we do things that we want to do?
Have you ever heard that banking statement? Do the things you need to do when you need to do them so that someday you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them.
That's fair.
There is always something in life that you don't want to do. I didn't want to listen to that teacher, listen to my parents. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to work today.
Yep. That was why everyone took your statement of, I want this person that went to school's context, because you want the person that's gone through the BS. No one wants to be at school.
That's right.
But they got through it and they finished it.
Correct. But they took what I said out of context.
Yeah. Well, they didn't listen to the whole show.
That's right.
That's right. All right, let's see what it takes to suffer through the pain to get to where you want to go.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, it's just what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. There's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. That's your new norm. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to.
You know what that makes me think of? This morning, my kid wanted to go work out. So I said, come on. He said, can we make it back time to get a shower before school? I said, yeah. So we get there. He's decided he's going to work out with us this morning. So we're working out. We've got to do 20 calories on the bike, and then we're going to do some thrusters. We do thrusters, and he did 4 of them. We're supposed to do 10. I said, what are you quitting for? He says, I can't do any more. And I said, you think Brock Purdy gives up at 4? You know what? He did the rest of them. I says, you don't quit.
Yep.
You don't quit.
It becomes like breathing. If you do it over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. There's some things that I need to do that...
We need to put that one and the old ladies together.
It becomes like breathing. Sex.
Yes.
That's what's good.
Over and over.
4 or 5 a.m. every time, like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
There's going to be more... Hey, this even fits, too. There's going to be more times that you do stuff that you don't want to do than the times that you go in doing what you want to do. The amount of pain involved, the amount of mental pain, makes you harder. All right, here's our next one.
One of the absolute best ways to get motivation to stop procrastinating and actually start working towards your goals is this. Grab a pen and paper and write down what your ideal life looks like 5 years from now and what you have to do in order to achieve that life. Then, right next to it, write down what your life will look like 5 years from now if you continue to live by the habits that you currently have. Put them next to each other and look at them. Look at them and ask yourself, which one of these 2 lives do I truly want, and fully realize that you have the option to choose between either one of them. The habits that you are going to live by from this point on will determine which one of these 2 lives you will end up getting.
So I'm reading a book right now, Relentless. And in that book, the gentleman's a motivational guy, and he runs ultramarathons, 100-mile races, and he's an expert elk bow hunter. And in that, he said something the other day that made me think. I always want to be conservative, Corey. And like, well, I got to plan this, make sure it's right. He says, screw tomorrow. Get it done today. Screw tomorrow. Get it done today. Take the risk. He said, if I wouldn't have taken the risk, I wouldn't have become an expert bow hunter. If I wouldn't have taken the risk, I never would have made it to 100 miles if I didn't start mile 1. So, that being said, I don't know if we take risk enough.
I don't.
Risk a lot to make a lot. Risk a little to make a little. That's what we used to say at the fire station.
It's a fine balance.
This is weird. You said Relentless. That's the name of the free music that we're listening to, literally this song right now. It's going to be a lot of spots that you don't know you're supposed to be in until you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a lot. I struggle with this. Write down what your ideal life looks like 5 years from now. I don't know if I know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably the toughest one. Part of that is write that down.
Because I want things, but I'm also super happy with where I'm at. Like, there's, to an extent, if I had what I have now 5 years from now, I'm okay.
Maybe you don't have to listen or look at it as such a big picture. It just could be some small things that are hard to get to. Financial, work. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's a lot of categories that our listeners can put goals together in. It could be financials on the farm. It can be assets on a farm. It could be size, shape, look of a farm. It could be a family goal. It could be just the fact that you want to go back and listen from the beginning to every Farm for Profit episode. I don't know who would do that goal.
I'm just rocking out to this free music. It's 5 Finger Death Punch.
This one is called Ghost Rider. Gotta get him hyped up.
We're going to have to expand to DJs now.
This last clip. So only did 11 in this show. This last one's going to be kind of a montage as we get into our closing comments and what we want to send our listeners away as a kickoff to the year. So let's wrap this up with the last one. It's going to provide us a little bit of motivation. How are we going to accomplish the hard work? What are we going to do to have faith in ourselves and believe that we can be the ones that get it done? So we'll let Ghost Rider send us into this clip here.
You have to think I am the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. What do you want to be in life? I'm a winner. I'm going to win. So this is how you level up.
You need to work hard. The more you put in, the more you get out.
It's on you.
You can never lose faith.
Things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Anything in life will eventually turn good.
Always keep going. Always. No matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready.
Adam Sandler, Mike Tyson, Denzel, Steve Harvey again, Kobe Bryant, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart,
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Some heavy stuff.
You have to think that I am the best ever. I am a winner. You are a winner. I'm going to win. Never lose faith. I liked what Kobe said. You have to expect the storm will end. Every storm, no matter what, eventually ends. You got to make sure that you're ready when it does.
I think farmers are really good at that. Preparing.
Not losing
for the
faith.
Unknowns. Getting ready for the financial downturn or the upturn. Pretty conservative.
What you guys think of those clips? Top to bottom.
It's pretty good. I feel like the first one and the last one were pretty similar. I'm going to win.
End caps.
Yep. Bookends.
I think the naysayers that are listening are going to say, yeah, those are all successful people. So it's easy for them to say that. They were maybe married into it or earned it or didn't earn it, 6 1/2 dozen, but it's easy for them to say because they have millions of dollars and nice lives. Not every life, even if you're rich, is the right life. So I think they got to dig deeper.
It's hard. There will not be an easy route. There was a quote that I read. Maybe I forwarded it to you guys. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there is not one successful person that looks back and says, that was easier than I expected. Is there anything that we've done that you've gone back and went, oh, that was easier than expected?
How was building the new studio? Was that easier than you expected?
No.
No comment.
No comment.
No. I mean, it's one of those situations that you think about where you want to go, and it sometimes is scary to write the goal down because you know it's going to be hard work. So what do you guys think? I'll summarize real quick, and you got some thoughts to share with the listeners before we kick off 2024.
Sure.
We first talked about discussing the importance of perseverance, mental resiliency, having that day one mentality. We then went off of making sure that you don't self-sabotage. 365 days of putting faith in yourself. If you don't know what to do, start by prioritizing your top goals. Pick those top 5. And maybe you should think about your happiness. Incorporate what makes you happy into those goals yourself. Mel Robbins says you could write it down. Things that used to be happy, things that make you happy now, but you have to own it. You have to understand yourself. You can't make a change if you don't know where you currently sit in your own happiness. I love the clip about the surfer's mentality because there's a lot of stuff in my life that those waves crash down, and you got to realize that you got to get back up on the board and paddle ahead for the next one. Making sure that you understand that while you are there, having some success and enjoying it, ride it all the way to its finality. Making sure that we know happiness can come from unexpected places, and sometimes you can take that hurt and turn that into extra motivation. You can just tell people really to fuck off. Maybe that's what you can power ahead with in 2024. Use your resilience, your determination to turn those negative experiences into positive ones. Making sure you understand that you will have to do what you don't want to do, and that is part of the process, so stop procrastinating. Visualize the future and make choices that align with your long-term goals. And then, like we said, end cap, you have to believe that you can get this done. That's what we talked about today. What do you guys got to say?
I'm going to say that I hope people keep hating. A lot of people would say, oh, God, I can't stand these people hating on me on social media and all that. Now, I hope you do, because you're my fuel. That's the way that motivates me. Like, if it was just so easy along the way and everyone, oh, it's so awesome, it's so amazing, like, I think I'd just become stagnant. Just keep on hating.
Yeah. I hope that the listeners that receive hate can use it like fuel like you want to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Dave?
I'm going to go right back to when I was in high school. I poured concrete at Camrood Foss Concrete. I had this old foreman named Mel, had a big old dip every day, big old heavy beer belly, and he'd say, let's go, girls. We got shit to do. We got a hot date tonight. Let's kick it in the ass. I got concrete coming in 5.
Yeah.
I like it. Concrete coming in 5.
Concrete coming in 5.
Take the task at hand, extremely focused. Get the job done, move on to the next.
So do you guys got any New Year's resolutions?
I just have a goal. I have multiple goals, but one of my goals is I'm going to be more intentional with my social media. I am going to be more intentional about connecting with our audience. You do great, Corey, Dave. I haven't done that so well. I spend a lot of time focusing on the nuts and bolts, the details, which is good, important. But I'm going to focus more on our people.
Just don't drop the nuts and bolts, because we're...
Jen Hartman said it. Don't worry about what you post, just engage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Best, one of the best ever.
I want to do more of that. What about you, Corey?
Oh, me? I don't really have any resolutions either. I've tried that. It just seems like resolutions don't stick, right? It's always, I just want to be healthier. I don't have maybe I should set a goal. Probably a big one for me is I want to be more present for my girls, for my family. Several things this fall, realizing they're not getting any younger and they're speeding faster in age, and just realizing that at the concert the other night, like, this is the last second grade concert that my second graders ever gonna have, or whatever, like those kind of things. Like, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah.
So just trying to be more present. Podcast wise, get on Spotify video.
Oh,
that's I think it's probably easy. We just need to do it.
Right. I would agree.
Yep.
Dave?
I want to grow, which means take risk. So I need to take more risk, and that is on the business side. Now, if I talk the auctioneering side, you guys know I've been running for world champion for 12 plus years. Like I just said it though. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the journey. It's been a hell of a journey, so I don't even know if I want to complete it. If I want to win that deal.
Once you get world champion,
once you
there's
get it,
nothing else.
You don't compete anymore. I got 3 coming up next month, and I get to compete against the best of the best. So I'm going to intentionally try to enjoy the ride.
I like it.
Do you want to give them a synopsis of where we're possibly going to be this year?
Yeah, that'd be good. I think we are headed to CattleCon, which is in Orlando. That's a livestock-focused convention, mostly cattle as far as that goes. It's going to be in the same event center that we were at for Commodity Classic last year. That's at the end of January.
In January.
Yeah. We will be doing a live Farm for Fun recording at the Young Farmers Conference for Farm Bureau in Des Moines. I think February 2nd or 3rd. As far as that goes, we will not be going to National Farm Machinery Show this year. We've got obligations to go out to Tulare in California. That would be the World Ag Expo, so that would be over Valentine's Day. Our wives are super happy with us already. And then we do hit Commodity Classic, which would be towards the last week of February, and that one's in Houston this time. So that kind of gets you through at least February. I know that we're going to be looking at shows towards the end of the year. We might be sprinkling in a couple of field days in the middle of the year. But if you want us to come hang out, or you've got a field day,
if you're overseas,
ooh yeah,
because we want to go worldwide with the podcast farther.
It's definitely going to happen in 2025
and farther.
Yeah, that might not be a 24 goal, but we need to do the legwork in 24 to make it a 25 achievement. That's good. I like that.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, should we send them out? I know it's not a Farm for Fun show, but it is New Year's Day. People might need a little assistance to get over their hangover. So, Corey, what are you going to say?
Maybe you should have a water. Or sometimes the best thing is to just get back on it and have a Busch Light. You deserve it.